Press the like button.
Good morning, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to Ask the Accountant number 180. The date is the 13th of April, 2026. I am your host, Aaron Patrick, along with me, my co-host, Johann Gorey. But before we go into that, let's go into the part of the show where we thank our Patreon producers. Hello and welcome to Ask the Accountant, part of the Ask the Accountant Network, a podcast network for accountants and bookkeepers supported by our Patreon community. Speaking of which, we start each and every show with a shout out to our coolest of cool listeners, who are Paul Whitehouse, Kirsty St. John, Mahul, and Peter Richardson. I would tell you the rest of them, but I've been signed out of Google. Tell you about next bit. So, to show your support for our channel and content, while also getting some bonus content and an opportunity to be on this coveted list, join our Patreon page via the links below. Jan, it's been 2 weeks. You've been out and about. You've been over to Spain,
Barcelona.
I noticed you did it just before. I think it's today that they've launched this new whole initiative where you have to have like electronic passport thingy-majig and EES or ESS or whatever it is.
Oh, I
I
don't know.
noticed you jumped in just before that. Very clever there, very clever. But yeah, go for it. How was it? Talk to us.
Barcelona was amazing. Blue sky, sunshine, 20 degrees. Yeah, beautiful city, lots of architecture. They're a little bit obsessed with the 1992 Olympics. Like we did. So one of the first things we do is like one of those hop-on tour buses, get your bearings, and then we use that we get like a 48-hour pass so we can do different routes and stuff like that. Great way to see a city. We love it. And you know they normally go on about their history on those things, and it was all about 1992 Olympics. I'm sorry, but if it's not older than America, it's not history. That's my rule in life. Like, it's not history. So yeah, but yeah, no, gorgeous city. It's one of those cities I think that I've been there, I've seen it, I've done it, probably won't go back. Whereas like Cologne or Rome, I'd happily go back in a heartbeat. So yeah, no, we went. It was absolutely lovely, really nice city break for 4 days, and then got back to the usual chaos. And then this weekend, I've been replacing decking boards. Top tip: do not buy a house with loads of decking, people.
Really, that bad?
Oh, I'm going to spend the rest of my life hunting out rot and replacing beams and decking boards. I can tell you, like they've got less of a problem on HMS Victory than I've got in my decking right now for damp and rot. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, it will be an ongoing project, shall we say? Yeah, how's your 2 weeks been? What have you been up to?
Well, first of all, my fun fact about Barcelona. You mentioned about the Olympics, so you must have gone through past the Olympic Stadium at the top of that massive, great big. I call it a mountain. Some people call it a hill. Some people call it a mound. Whatever you want to call it. Well, we went for a gig up there. I went to see Ed Sheeran. Really, really good gig, all that sort of stuff. But imagine having to then come back without a bus. So you literally just got to wander down. Anyway, there's kind of what you call of what the truth is and what's not the truth. But when I came back, my lovely wife, she says that I slipped. I believe that she pushed. Basically, I ended up going down that mountain. And ended up in one of the Barcelona's ambulances on the way back. Yeah, did a whole number on my ankle. So yeah, it was.
Their ambulance sirens are a bit weird out there.
You what?
Like,
Sorry.
The ambulance sirens in Barcelona are a bit weird.
Yeah,
they sound like the battery's dying. I'm like, do you reckon the dodgier the heart in the patient, the worse the sirens sound, and that's a sign to get out of the way because they're about to flatline?
Is that what it is?
Uh,
Oh,
uh,
just listen out. Yep. Yep. Unfortunately, I think that guy's not
yeah,
going to last.
he's going to turn the siren off in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
very odd siren.
No, it was a good couple of weeks. So weird not doing the live show last week. I felt weird. Hopefully everyone enjoyed our little rant on about Fab and everything else this time last week. That was a good fun to have with Tim. And also we've not had a live show since we went to Sage as well. So and Sage Savvy pops up there just as just like it knew what we were going to talk about. So do keep an eye out for that content. I think we were talking off air. I think we found a way to make Cool Friends much more accessible now, meaning as in filming them, getting them up, all that sort of stuff. So fingers crossed, me and Johann can go do a lot more Cool Friends. And maybe not just me and Johann, maybe it's any of the network. You got Amy, you got all sorts of people that can go out there and do some Cool Friends episodes. I feel like they're the bits that we're missing at the moment with this. There's a lot there's people we've promised for a long time, and now there's no Brewdog. The world is our oyster. Right, shout out to the people who are here first. Cheryl, CPS Bookkeeping got the coveted number 1 spot. Good morning, sunny and bright here in South Yorkshire. It was nice and bright when I went out this morning with the dog, but I've got this horrible feeling it's going to rain. Paul Ingram says, good morning, all. Good morning to you, Paul. Hope you're doing well. Mahul says, good morning, everyone from sunny London. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope you had a great weekend too, Mahul. Kirsty St. John says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Paul Whitehouse says, good morning, morning all. Juliet McKenna says, morning all from sunny Gateshead. It really is a sunny day.
Blue skies and sunshine here.
Really? You've get yourself to London, you know what I mean? Sue Green says, good morning all from sunny Tamworth. Nicola Gardenier, I think I always butcher that one, so apologies there. But we'll just say Cobb and everything's better again. Good morning to you. Susanna Whelan says, good morning. Lisa Mullerland says, morning, good morning to you. Paul Wire says, hope MTD it is going well for everyone. Thank you for spelling that correctly. I noticed someone getting told off the other day for saying MTD it's which I do from time to time. I don't, but anyway, it's MTD it, and you've just got our just got our first topic spoiled for us there, Paul. But yes, we'll come round to that in a minute. Bookkeeping Super Natasha says, good morning to you. AIM GB accountant 6146 says, good morning. Paul Whitehouse also says, had a few surprises with HMRC exemptions blocking some clients we thought were qualifying. Interested. Oh,
surely that's better that way round than the other way round, though.
Yeah, and getting that surprise that they what do you mean they've missed their first submission? They only earned £10 last year. More to bookkeeping says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. More to bookkeeping. Clive Hand, QuickBooks accountant says, good morning, chaps. Hope you had a great Easter break. Good morning to you too. And Stephanie Marshall 7791 says, watching you both on the TV this morning. Loving that. In high K 4K definition, I hope. So HDR turned on as well, hopefully. All right then, everybody. So we've kind of spoiled what our first topic is, but it's going to be this. Yeah, we kind of all expected it. MTD it has arrived. It's there. It's on the shores. We can play around with it. There's more than just 5 of us now. It was lovely back in the day when it was just 5 of us and we were and it was just us just playing around in the wilderness. But now there's a lot more of us there, and so far, I would say it's been an okay launch. I don't think there's been, other than these.
Isn't the real test coming up in August?
Well, yeah, but I mean, so far, nothing's broken.
So far, because we've not actually filed anything, it's gone really well.
Yeah, but look, it's out there. I did a whole shout out to the MTD Watch series. We went live on Wednesday, I want to say. It was Wednesday. It might have been Thursday. If someone can shout out, that's absolutely great of when it was, because I can't remember. So a couple of you were actually there live chatting away to us. But yeah, it's all gone through. We've kind of seen the launch. I spoke at length of my only criticisms that I had, and we'll come on to it in a minute. But Jan, what's it been for you? Have you had? I mean, the big question I asked, and I didn't really get the answer. But has your phone been off the hook with all these new inquiries that we're promised?
Has it buggery? No. Look, we are. So Routes to Growth is having a push on it. On Point Accounting, their client base is just not focused around him. It's not at that level. Most people that are that level of revenue upwards and profit and income upwards, they're limited companies with us already. So yeah, and interestingly, like we had 5 walk-ins last week to the Route to Growth office about it. 3 of them walked out deciding to go limited through no coercion of ours, because they were like, well, we're already VAT registered. So we're doing one quarterly filing already. Do we want to do another round of quarterly filings, or do we go limited and just do one accounts and one corp tax? And there's a slight tax efficiency there, very, very slight these days compared to what it used to be. And they were like, actually, we'll do that, thanks. And they're coming on board with us, but they want to go limited. So yeah, I think I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it. I think next year is the year. So this year, anyone that's earning that kind of turnover and stuff, I think we're going to see them seriously consider the benefits of LTD. And also, like, you know, out of hundreds of clients we've got, I think 35 hit the threshold this year. If that, I think it was actually 31 in the end. So we're like, well, next year is going to be the big year for us. That's going to be the headache year. So we've got a nice warm-up year this year, a bit of a run into it, running start. That's great. We can, yeah. And then if people that are coming to us turn around going, look, we're coming because of this, but actually we think we're going to go limited instead. Is that okay? It's like, fine. We're here to help, whichever way around you want to do it. But it's interesting because it was only when one of those walk-ins to our office turned around the other day and said to one of my team, it's like, well, Ahoy, do you do quarterly VAT returns? And then that's a kind of glass half full moment. It's like, so you could say, I don't want to do any more admin. I just want to do my annual. But you could also go, well, if I've already done all the work for the VAT, surely it's just a quick submit button.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could go either way there. But yeah, it's interesting to see how the public are reacting to it. That is for sure. And the amount of people that I'm seeing on Facebook groups and stuff saying, anyone know a free software to file this and file that? It's like it isn't as expected. It's not seen as a helping to modernize system. It's a pain in the backside, and people are trying to avoid the cost of it through that they feel is implied through softwares and accountants and bookkeepers. So I don't know. I think we'll know about the mad rush, if there's going to be one, in July and August. I don't think the phones are going to be off the hooks until then. And I don't think that will be, I think it'll be July and August next year when we really get the wave. If there's going to be a wave that the governing bodies have been promising us all, I'm still not convinced there will be.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And
how's it been for you and your businesses?
yeah, to be fair, I mean, we're similar numbers in terms of it. Like, what we got, like 1,000 clients over the group, and it's like, I think there's just over 30. I think that's that number that kind of springs to mind. So not a lot. Yeah, it really, really small kind of update this one. But you're right, the next one's much better, bigger. And you know, I've sent out the questionnaire for next year's for this year's tax return, and we do a little section at the end that kind of says, look, we believe you're going to be there. There's a lot more that's coming through in that threshold. So yeah, it's going to be there. Now, what I'll do for you now is I'll give you a bit of a tee up for what the question I'll pass back to you. But on the MTD watch along, we did watch series. We did a top 5. What's your top 5 pieces of software that you're recommending at the moment? And you've got to go in chronological order and work your way up. So I'll let you have a mull of that. Let me have a think about it. Me, Susanna, and Amy have committed to ours. We pushed ours out there, and we'll talk about kind of who the winners of that was as well, coming through there. But I have 2 major issues.
Clarify why I think about that. Is this filing software, or how we're getting information in, or?
It's just your MTD software, so it could be any of them, any of the above.
Absolution. Yeah.
Yes, which are your top 5? And if you don't have 5 like Susanna, that's fine as well. She only wanted to commit to 4. She didn't want to push on that 5th one. No, but I have 2 major criticisms that I have. One software, one HMRC coming through. But it's interesting you said about that bit about you had a walk in. You talked about they're already filing that. I had a PNC, and they were actually more concerned for the MTD or whatever you want to call it submissions than they were about the VAT they're already doing. And they had this, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's kind of because it's self-assessment, it feels like it's more important or something. I was genuinely shocked with that. And I know we've got that privilege of information, right? And we live in it day in, day out. And we're talking to people who, scaremongering tactics or whatever it's going to be. They've seen these things on and everything else. But he was genuinely like super concerned about, I need to make sure I've got this right. And you could see the stress in his voice, and you could see him getting like worked up about this, which I thought was really interesting because, as I told him, like the fact he's already doing VAT, you're already way ahead of everyone else. Like you're there. Maybe consider doing coterminous. If it's not, like that's probably the only advice you can really give them, isn't it? Like make sure your VAT quarters fall in line with your MTD ones going forward because that's going to make your life easier. Blah blah blah. But yeah, it's just interesting. There's that perception that MTD is like almost more scary than VAT, where surely again, we're privileged because we know the information, but surely it should feel like the way around. So yeah, interesting take on it. Before I go to my 2 big criticisms, let's quickly catch up with the comments. Nicholas says you were right first time. Pronounce Gardenia. There we are. So I mean, that's good for me to be let's get it right. But cob works. So yeah. That's an in joke for anyone who's not from the Derby and or Derbyshire area. Mahul says it was Thursday for the MTD Watch series. Having done quarter 4 via the beta, I want to know when the final reporting thing will be live. Hold that thought there, Kirsty. It's one of my criticisms. Susanna says it was Thursday, and of course she knows because she was part of the panel. Isaac says nice. Cheryl says CPS bookkeeper. Cheryl CPS bookkeeper says I've changed the VAT quarters for mine that qualifies to the line with MTD. Just as I just said, yeah, exactly, yeah. How was that process, by the way, with the new MTD VAT thing? I assume it's quite easy to do. I've had team members do it for me before, so I haven't
done it
actually
myself.
gone in. Yeah, gone in, but I imagine it's more straightforward now we're in that MTD area. You would imagine it's a couple of clicks and you're done. My husband, who is the first round of MTD, still hasn't had a letter from HMRC. So how many more haven't had one? Yeah, it's scary, isn't it? And we spoke about this on the pod. We're not getting them as agents, right? And that's going to be an interesting conversation if anything gets missed. It'll be interesting at the end of the year how the DIYers fare with doing their quarterly returns themselves. Yeah, but are they going to be in a better position? Is this one of those slight positives for them that in theory it's already going to be there? Like you said, it'll be interesting to see, Lisa. And then Susanna Sisu Bookkeeping says a belated good morning from a cold but sunny Henley. Good morning to you too. Yeah, so my 2 criticisms. One, aimed directly at HMRC. When are they going to tell us about when the rest of like people are going to be into MTD it? Because surely at some point we're going to have the rest of the people going in, the below 20,000. It doesn't make much sense that they're kind of split. And even if they don't have to quarterly, surely they've got to go over to MTD at some point, right? Like that's the bit that I feel like is the missing pie at the moment, because what is frustrating is the fact that we're having to go through and segment our whole self-assessment thing, and as those numbers we just said, right, it's skewed so far back the other way that it's almost like it almost feels like we're investing time and effort and everything else into something that's only going to be for a small proportion of our client base at this point in time. And that needs to change, right? We need that mentality to change. We need more people to go in. My big prayer and hope of all this is that when we do finally, and that's going to go on to my next question, when we do finally see the final declarations, we're supposed to call it now, it's not a self-assessment tax anymore, it's final declaration, but when we do finally see them, I'm hoping it's going to be a better experience for everyone, for the client, for us, for everyone else, gathering the data, all that sort of stuff. We should be in a digital age. There should be a better process for us, right? We should be seeing benefits. I kind of said a few times, and I'll repeat it again, but I'm looking forward to that time when I'm like, you know what? you're not actually due to be MTD now, but it's so much better for you to be MTD because CIS, for example, like bringing that CIS in automatically and stuff like that. Why don't we bring you in early? Because you're going to get all these benefits from it, and everyone's going to be better. Like, that's what we want from MTD, right? We want it to be that, oh, here's a feel good reason, and here's a reason to get like the, and we want us to be encouraged to move over, right? And not being forced to move over. So I'm hopeful that that's actually going to be it. And maybe I'm being completely naive here and that'll never happen, but it's nice to try and think about that, isn't it? And hope that's going to happen. And then my final criticism is of the vendors, but I know it's down to HMRC's APIs and everything else. But we haven't seen those final declarations yet. We haven't. Like, I've clicked into them. I've tried to play around with. I've tried to do videos on them. I've tried to, I've tried to be involved in them, and I've just not seen that experience. And I feel like at the moment we're being asked to buy and make purchasing decisions on a half-baked product, and that doesn't feel right to us. We, at this point, MTD going live, we should see the whole scope from start to finish, right? That should be already available to us. And then, between now and when it actually needs to be submitted, which isn't going to be till like this time next year, right? But then they can do refinements and make some improvements and hopefully blow us away by this amazing workflow of, you've never considered doing your tax return this way. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's the feel good factor we should be getting from MTD. And at the moment, based on the fact that HMRC kept delaying it, and there's all sorts of factors around it. So I'm not blaming every single vendor out there, but it is frustrating that the vendors haven't been able to showcase that. And to me, that's the bit that should be selling the products, not, oh, it can quarterly.
Free Agent already launched their final declaration feature though.
Yeah, it's Free Agents
so
there.
It's not HMRC then. It is the software.
No. But the vendors are always like, oh, well, we've not got the APIs and everything else. And I know Free Agent, is this public knowledge? I think it's public knowledge. They can shoot me if they want to, or they'll probably never give me a Vinny. But I know they've absolutely nailed the whole CIS element of it. So CIS automatically comes in, which like, take my money. Like that, you've just solved one of the biggest pain points we have within the world of filing tax returns. Like, little things like that are going to, for me, make or break of what is a product worthwhile for us going into, right? Like, worthwhile us getting behind and getting our clients on board and everything else. Like, just knowing or seeing that they can do quarterly returns, to me, that's not exciting. What's exciting is how that final declaration can kind of be built in. So, well, do you think that's fair criticism of both HMRC and the vendors?
I mean, I think the vendors need to stop blaming HMRC when there's other products out there that have already delivered it, because it's a crap excuse that proves them wrong. Like, they look like idiots. I'm fairly sure TaxCalc are committed to the year-end final declaration to be available from June. I could be completely wrong about that, but I'm sure that's what they've said. I'll be able to confirm that on Wednesday at Fusion Birmingham event, but I'm sure that was the plan. But then I'm hearing other vendors aren't going to release anything until January, and it's like, that's not good enough. Like, this is the biggest change this year in, and they've had plenty of time to get ready for this. And Free Agent have done it. Why can't others?
Yeah.
So
it's frustrating, isn't it? Because that, again, like, they want us to make buying decisions. Show us the bit the money maker for us, right? Like, that's the bit that's going to make or break if we're going to decide. And it seems bad, right? But we're going to push ourselves on a particular software because it's going to, and we're going to go through some of the, like, QuickBooks Sole Trader wasn't a great product overall because of the flaws and everything else. There's a reason it got pulled, right? But I was willing to go through and find a way and fight through that because I knew that overall it was going to be a better experience for me to file and everything. Like, I was playing 4D chess and I was looking at the end goal, right? I feel like we've not got that opportunity to make those decisions at the moment because it's all a bit up in the air as to, they're all going to release it, but are they going to be client facing or not client facing? Are they going to have opportunities to bring the data? Do you know what I mean? Like all that question mark is still just up in the air. I just feel like we're already in MTD. How
Also,
is it?
technically, they've got until January 2028 to release it and still be classed as on time.
Yeah. But when, especially these sort of clients, and your bigger clients, right? A sole trader over 50K, they're like we said, they're quite rare. Like we want to be impressing them. We want to be filing their returns as soon as we can, and going above and beyond for them. Like that's how. And we're not going to be able to because, by the sounds of it, the software's not going to be available.
Clients are getting more and more in tune with that. So I've really enjoyed recently in the Engager Facebook group seeing how many people have what people are getting what return response on their tax questionnaires.
100%.
Like, we've got firms out there getting 20, 25, 30% of their tax questionnaires back within 24 hours of sending out the questionnaire to their clients. That means they can get on. Like they could have 30% of their year's tax returns done by the end of April. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly.
So clients are getting the message. They're getting there. They're being more proactive because we're being more proactive as an industry. And now we can't, like you were just saying, certain clients you can't actually file a tax return for at the moment because your software is not updated to meet the current regulation. Like that's not good enough.
No, exactly right. Exactly. Especially when you got like CIS clients looking for refunds, etc., etc. Yeah, 100%. Let's quickly go through the rest of the comments and then we'll throw that question over to you about your top 5. We covered that one. Juliet says, think they might be an influence of people around August when they realize it's not quite as easy as I thought to do it themselves by people on my Facebook group. Yeah. I think you're right there, Juliet. I think we're going to see a lot more coming through during that August and beyond, right? Like I feel like that's when it's going to be when those letters go out to say you've missed your first quarterly update. Like that's going to scare people into coming over, isn't it? Speaking of HMRC, what's with the HMRC? I've done a VAT reg for a UK resident company. Receive a letter stating they'll send it out. Another letter looking for more information. Yeah, welcome to automation gone wrong. Yeah. Do you have the same problems in Ireland? I'd love to know. Paul Whitehouse says 2 events that blocked MTD it: a client with a trust income, even though a sole trader income is over 50K, and a client who is under Schedule D. And this is the thing, like at what point do everything just goes into MTD, right? Like we've got our dividends and everything else. I mean, maybe I'm asking for something that we never want because do we want quarterly updates on dividends for close companies going forward? That seems like a scary world, right? Like that seems like let's we probably don't want that. But at least if we're not having quarterly, at least them being over in the MTD world means we can have all our clients under the same solution, and we don't have to have multiple pieces of software and everything else. So, speaking of software, top 5, go.
Okay, so first of all, it's about getting the information in. So, Apron for getting everything in, cost effective, time saving, etc.
But they're not MTD compliant, so you'll be using bridging.
No, but we're getting the data.
Yeah,
that's the biggest fight, right? We've got to get sight of the data.
Interesting take. Interesting.
Then we've got to get the data formed and filed. Okay. So my 4th one is tax calc because I've seen many firms go, well, you've got to use Xero, you've got to use QuickBooks, you've got to use Free Agent. It's like, I'm not fighting Doris, who's 80, who can't log into her own BBC iPlayer account, never mind anything else, to use software. And I'm not putting that cost on her when I could just use a spreadsheet and file it using bridging software and tax calc. So while it's not our default answer for every client, we want to make sure we have a solution for every client. So tax calc bridging software for MTD will be there, followed by Xero because it's more expensive and most of my clients on Xero wouldn't need it, but it's the option. Followed by Free Agent as number 2 because it's a great solution. MTD is there. The bank is free with banking, so we're delivering again a cost-effective solution. So tax calc is a very cost-effective solution. Xero's not, but it's got a lot of good ways to get clients into better habits anyway, and better
Love that.
visibility of data, which tax calc spreadsheets won't do really. Free agent, same, it gets people into better habits and understanding their data, but is more cost effective with free banking, etc.
Yeah.
And then every firm, it has to be, we have to make this as efficient and slick as possible. So a best in class practice management solution like Engager has got to be the top one. Like, you've got to get every tax return, every filing e-signed. You've got the clients to have visibility of it. You want somewhere for clients to dump correspondence from HMRC into, etc. You want good workflows and stuff like that. So it's got to be Engager.
I was really wondering where the number one was coming from, and then I thought, actually, yeah, the Engager chap. Just done some quick mental arithmetics here, so I may have got this slightly wrong, but we didn't. So, if you want to know mine, Susanna's, and Amy's top 5, then go ahead and listen to the MTD watch series, and you'll be very surprised at my number 1. But that does mean that I think we have a change in our unofficial combined scores. Free agent is still number 1. So that's number 1 at the top there. Sage is still number 2. So you didn't dislodge either of those two. QuickBooks is still number 3. Xero is number 4. Then it's Tax Calc. Then it's Engager, and then it's Apron. So there we are. There's our official Ask the Accountant.
And to be clear, guys, I've not watched that episode of MTD.
Yeah. How engaging got there. Fair play to it, but,
yeah. There we go.
That's it. I mean, controversial at 9:02 in the morning. We love it. I'm going to try this. So there's a new poll idea. So what is your number 1 MTD? And we're going to get you lot have a chance of making some changes for it. So I'll put that poll up in a minute while we're doing that. But let's go into our next topic, which is a spicy topic. For speaking of spicy, now we go from your controversial topic to more controversy on the internet. But no, we're doing this with a pinch of salt, and look, we love both of these pieces of software, so there's no kind of malice or anything daft like that. And we actually want to look at the wider context of this. But if you type the word apron pricing into Google at the moment, you get Briefcase jumping up saying goodbye apron. Now, I know this is a bit of a jiggery pokery and a bit of a banter and everything else, and I've come there. But my question is, that's very expensive way of advertising these days, right? Like, you go into Google and you do some ad spend and you put, thing to be the top of the list. That is very, 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 very expensive, and increasingly as well less effective. We were talking off air how I got 2 PNCs and what do you call it the other day? A vendor reached out to me the other day because not of Google spend or YouTube or anything like that or LinkedIn, because ChatGPT told them to. Like, that's become the new go-to SEO. How we actually influence that, I have no idea. We've got. Oh, okay. Well, when we pass you can give us some insights. But yeah, what's your thoughts on this? Right, like the idea that there's a Briefcase going for goodbye apron as a push line going forward. And while you're talking, I'm going to put the poll up. Let us know how it works and see if you can get involved in that as well. Go for it.
So, look, we've always seen people like type in QuickBooks, Xero will try and AdSense that word, and so that's just standard practice. To have the click link of goodbye, apron, hyphen, still on apron, ? Is, I don't know, do we need this kind of behavior in our space? I'm not convinced it's the right behavior, but we'll see. But also, isn't Briefcase like 10 times per month per client more expensive than Apron? I mean,
oh, really?
I'd need to check what but the pricing was not affordable when I last looked at Briefcase. Yeah, I don't know. It's all in jest, but it's a dangerous game to play because all it takes is apron getting every single staff member to Google that term 5 times a day.
Yeah.
And then clicking on the link and doing nothing. And that's cost Briefcase, who knows, like 20, 30 quid per click, depending on how competitive that space is for SEO. That's one way to get yourself bankrupted very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not convinced that this is the right attitude to have. Like, there's always a bit of banter, there's always a bit of competitiveness, yes, but this is a bit too direct, I think. Like, I don't think Briefcase have got the company profile and personality to pull it off. So if you think, like, because in my mind, this is them trying to be the Audi of the supermarket world, where they're taking digs at M&S.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Briefcase, you haven't
Colin
got that.
Yeah.
Like, Briefcase, you haven't got that personality and that company brand to pull that off as a bit of tongue in cheek. You know, we're not looking at it going, they're having a bit of fun. We're looking at it going, that's a bit spicy, that's a bit direct. So yeah, I don't know. Each to their own, but whoever advised Briefcase to play that card, I think they need to have a word with their marketing consultants.
Yeah. And about being a waste of what do you call it, of ad spend. You said you might have some insights of how the AI algorithms working and ChatGPT's able to bring it. Because I can be completely honest, when I was told that, I was like, "What? I'm really happy with that. Obviously, I'm not going to say no to advertising and everything else." But I had no idea how I've influenced that that judgment at all. Go for it.
I do. So I'm not surprised by you having this at all, these results at all, because AI doesn't work on ad spend, as you can imagine.
Yep.
But what it works on is authority and your educational authority. So this really does look at this is looking at all your blogs, all your YouTube videos, all your written long form content to establish your authority in the space of which someone has searched in ChatGPT. So if they have searched, I need an accountant to help me with QuickBooks in whatever area, or they might have just said, I need an AI would have scanned the world of the internet and gone, the QuickBooks chap, that sounds like the kind of guy we need here.
Yeah.
So it's all about authority in the space. So that's why people are doing more. So I do a lot of Substack articles now about financial due diligence and stuff. I do 2 a week because that's getting me the authority with the AI, with ChatGPT and Claude and stuff, to find me when someone asks about financial due diligence. That's why we're doing a lot of like case studies and stuff at Engager to get us the authority, which that we were always told if you do blogs, Google ranks you for it.
Yes. Yeah. We were.
But nothing compared to what ChatGPT will, because ChatGPT, even if you don't ask it for I want an accountant to help me with QuickBooks, if you ask a QuickBooks question, it will go out there and it will source the transcripts out of your QuickBooks chat videos. It will source the help guide articles from QuickBooks, and it will cite the answers and links to that content where it got the answers from. So it's all about authority. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? But it does kind of make you think about your approach, because we were talking off air, weren't we? How and it's related to our next topic, so we'll come into it in a minute. But how, going back to doing day in the life videos and that sort of content, right? That used to be in our world. Oh, surely that's the most important content to put out there, because surely that's the way where we're gonna, because that's how we've gravitated to certain people in the industry, right? Because or outside in other industries, because we've been watching their content, and that's how we've kind of we found they've got a personality. So if wherever we needed that individual's expertise for something, they were the first people to come to, right? They've get, like you said, that word authority. They've gained that authority from us. But maybe that won't be so useful to us if I know there's transcripts and everything else, but is that because as like you said, Substack, that's focus. That's no garbage. That's no, garbage is the wrong word, but no fluff, right? It is just pure, like you're just trying to get to the point, right? So do you reckon going forward that content's going to be so much more valuable for people than what we we aspire to do these videos and stuff and these day in the lives and all that sort of stuff, but maybe that content's going to be it's really, really time consuming, expensive, all that sort of stuff to get that content out there, and B, it does feel like we're it's going to be less beneficial to us from a pure AI driven, it's not SEO anymore, it's AI driven, ranking. Like, do you reckon that's fair?
Yeah, and look, everything has its time and day, like SEO and Google Ads. Like, we were always taught to have multiple places. Like, the ideal was to have all of your people subscribe to your website because you control your website.
Yes.
Google can change their Google Ads. Substack can change how you publish an article and what you can and can't talk about. YouTube can take your videos down, etc. Facebook can change how groups work or something, which means your audience is suddenly gone and your reach is gone. But ultimately, I think your best bet is to have multiple eggs in multiple baskets. Like, the beauty of Substack is that I've only been doing it a month and I've pushed it on LinkedIn a few times and stuff like that. I've got over 700 subscribers. Like,
yeah.
Within an hour, I can guarantee 50 to 60 people have read that article twice a week. Like, that's people getting understanding my authority in that space and my knowledge and expertise. So, yeah, and then that feeds into AI algorithms and stuff. So, yeah, it's just keeping up with the changing dynamics of the world of how people search and stuff.
Yeah, and who knows, with AI being so prevalent at the moment, it's going to change. I think the pace of change is going to be even more, isn't it, going forward by a long way. Interesting results on the poll, by the way. What is your number one MTD product at launch? Free Agent gets another victory. 50% of the vote goes to Free Agent, Xero gets 25, QuickBooks gets 13, and Sage gets 13 as well. And just kind of quick insights into why people chose some. Kirsty St. John, it was the only one that she's got. And then when you search briefcase, Carbon is top result. Right, okay, there we are.
That's very clever from Carbon.
Yeah.
Carbon are looking for accountants, right? And what they're doing is they're targeting any software on Google that you might search the term of. And they're coming up and going, right, you're interested in an accounting filing receipt capture software. The chances are you're an accountant or bookkeeper. Let us plug our CRM to you. And that's been happening for years. That's absolutely how it's done. Like, you search Xero, QuickBooks and Sage come up. You search QuickBooks, Xero and Sage come up, and vice versa. The bit that's spicy about this is the directness of the wording of goodbye apron, still on apron ? Apron captures data, briefcase captures data, codes, publishes and closes your month end. AI that ... Like, it's actually going from cocky to arrogant and bitter. Like, I'm not convinced. Like, if I saw that, because I'm not just shopping for features, I shop around for the culture. And one of the key reasons I've moved a lot of my clients and my own firm now from QuickBooks is I felt the culture at QuickBooks has changed and the focus has changed to the point that it doesn't sit in line with my own beliefs and values. And when I see that from Briefcase, I have to sit there and go, is that in line with the values of my company? And they've instantly ruled themselves out of contention there for me, because that's not how I do business.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, and look, I think you were right, spot on, when it was kind of that they're trying to be the Audi moment and everything else. But you're right. There's Andy worked up in, or it was Lidl, wasn't it? Whichever way
It was
around it was.
Audi.
Yeah. But they worked and they kind of got themselves a seat at that table to have that little jab and everything
And
else.
they take the piss out of themselves. Like the other day, they're like, did anyone fail at Easter and only eat so many eggs? I normally eat more. Type. Like they take the mick out of themselves, their own marketing department, their own lawyers, and stuff like that. So they've built up that, instead of a personal brand, they've built up that company brand, where they're willing to take the mick out of themselves, but they'll also then use that to take the mick out of their competitors.
Yeah, and it's worked because they are the go-to now of that bantery type thing, right? Like
it gets them so much social reach.
Exactly. Whereas, like you said, it feels like Briefcase maybe jumped a little bit too soon on this one in terms of going that direct and that thing. It just feels, you've kind of said it already. It's that bad taste in the mouth sort of thing, isn't it? Paul Whitehouse says, how many accountants create their own blogs over using some marketing company? There's definitely, I mean, I'm a little bit, what do you call it here? Because we do have our own marketing company that, so I fully encourage you to use marketing companies. Elevate Media is a great shout. But yeah, no, that is going to be definitely.
There are ways, Paul, to do so. The reason I can do 2 blogs a week on Substack is because I use my Claude recording device when I'm out speaking at events. I try and make sure I have at least 1 speaking event a month talking about financial due diligence and stuff. So I have my Claude note taker on my wrist or on my phone. It records my hour-long session. I take that transcript, I stick it into AI to find different topics, and then that creates the foundations that I then flesh out. So I've made it very efficient. If I had to sit there and try and come up with 2 blogs a week, I would have writer's block constantly. I wouldn't get anywhere with it. So it's just finding the tools, if you're not an organic writer, to help you do it, basically.
Natasha Everard says, I moved away from Briefcase back to in December last year.
Here comes the lawyers.
Let's just move on from that one. Great to hear that, Natasha. Thank you very much. Thank you for making me have to bleep on a Monday morning at 9:17. So,
oh, we're so sweet.
Apologies for any what you thought I said at that point. But to be fair, though, it is a word in the Urban Dictionary, so I should be bleeping it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if you ever looked at that. Anyway, what was our next topic of conversation that we had to go on to? Oh yeah, just public service announcement. We did mention about this, I want to say a couple of weeks ago, but it's now actually live. For you now to go and submit a tax return, there are some new boxes that you should really be aware of. And I think this is going to be a box that I generally think that there's we need some help here from the vendors, right? Because this is going to be a very messy and laborious thing if we're not careful. But if you go to file for tax return and you look at your box 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, and 7.4, you now need to name the close company, the registered number of the close company, and the dividends received from this close company, and percentage of shareholding in this close company.
Well, you do, but you can't, can you?
I can't on my software, no, but everyone else can. Because there was a question mark around, is this definitely going live and everything else? But it looks like it is. I mean, I've got a screenshot. I'm looking at the screenshot now. So I've definitely seen that there. But this is one of those situations where actually the premise and the end result of this, I'm well behind. I think this is a really good move. I think actually this is sensible and it's going to go through. Is this going to cause us a lot of headaches? Probably. Like, this is going to be a very frustrating and painful change, but something we should all be aware of. I mean, even just having a nice little we have a standard matrix that we use for dividend distribution. where you have kind of the company along the top and the shareholders down the bottom, and then you make sure that they're kind of going through there. So realistically from this is adding a couple more fields to that so that then we can easily extract the data and put it in there. But I really do hope and pray and think that this is that sort of thing where, because we've had this forced change, this is a chance for vendors to go out there and start thinking about how is a better way to link this. If we've got the company accounts in the same ecosystem as the tax return, is there any way where we can make this a much more smooth and simplified position? Especially when, tinfoil hat moment, we've got the ability, well, we're now telling HMRC all this extra information. MTD and real-time information for capital gains is a real thing. Is this are we seeing what HMRC's final North Star is going to be, and that's that dividends are going to be declared on a much more regular basis going forward, and it's not just an annual mop.
I wouldn't be surprised if dividends are declared. It'll go to like capital gains, right? When you sell a property where there's capital, you have to declare it within 60 days. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in the future they turn around and say you've got to declare dividends within 60 days of receiving dividends.
And probably both ways, right? Like the company's got to declare it, and we've got to
declare it to Companies House, and then you've got to declare it personally to match it off. Which change it. But then there's always these pivotal moments that change how we do things, and technically it's for the better. Like COVID changed how most firms do directors' salaries.
Yes.
They were declaring one salary a year to keep down the payroll running costs, and that myth that was just BS. But then they couldn't get the furlough because the payroll report hadn't been done at the right point in the time. For the furlough consideration. So all of a sudden, it's very rare I now come across a director that's still on annual payrolls.
100%. Yeah.
So it changed it for the better. And it was a more live, real kind of filing solution. So I wouldn't be surprised if this happens with dividends.
No, I agree. And look, there's multiple reasons why we've got to be more real time with this anyway, right? I know they've kicked it down the thing again, but now P11Ds are supposed to be, is it from next year now, or is it year after? I can't remember when it's actually come back.
Seems like a payroll department problem.
But originally it was supposed to be today, this year, right? This year was supposed to be P11Ds where you had to do it live, you had to go into the software. Now, for your medical insurance and for your cars and stuff, it was going to be a pain, and it's going to be a painful experience. It's going to be something we've really got, as an industry, got to find better way of doing this, right? And reporting this and everything else. And there's got to be better ways than we're doing now. But for overdrawn director's loan account and interest on that, that is going to be an absolute nightmare, right? Like that is something that suddenly we've got to completely think about the way we're doing that for clients. I don't know if you've seen, but now if you want to declare the interest on the overdrawn director's loan account to try and mitigate against P11D, there's a whole new world of pain there with new reporting requirements and everything else, and stuff that you've got to do and everything else. So it is it's so like that whole, I think MTDs is sort of thing that we've all been kind of going, this is going to be painful, but there's been so much focus on it. To me, that whole P11D, everything else that goes around it, all that sort of stuff, that to me is the scariest bit, because that's going to be a fundamental change, a fundamental shift in the way we do things. And again, probably for the better, probably for, we're probably going to see a better, how many times have you come across like taking over a client or something and they've just not declared P11D interest on it, and you've got to go back and do it all for, like you'd expect it to be more opportunities not to drop the ball, and hopefully we'll get a better experience overall, and hopefully it discourages people from going overdrawn direct loan in the first case, because there's you've got the the things to pay, but also you have to pay us more because we're gonna have to run PLMDs on a monthly basis, and we're gonna have to figure out what the figure is. So we're gonna have to do your bookkeeping. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a whole and right. Like it's that whole idea of it's compounding interest on top of an already bad situation, right? And I feel like this is a bomb that's waiting to explode. I don't think as an industry we've really kind of thought this through and thought how much implications are going to come that way. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more pain coming our way, and I think MTD is probably one of the nicer ones that we've had to worry about. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Susanna says payroll and benefits from April 2027. So it is just that 1 year extra, isn't it? And again, we've seen nothing from the vendors because they're scared. It's been moved back multiple times. It's why invest in something that they don't know if it's going to be pushed back again. It's a hard one, isn't it? So all those sole traders who moved to limited to avoid MTD will have to deal with that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just basically kicked it down there and gone through from there. So that's the way it is. Any more on that bit before we move on the closed company side?
No, I think it is just it's only going to get worse. We're going to get more. So yeah.
Kirsty St. John says it's live on Sage. That's the final declaration, I assume. So yeah.
No, of course it's the
the closed company.
Closed company stuff, yeah. The bit that's not on your company's on your software.
All right. Thanks, Kirsty. Thank you. Clive just puts lots of laughing. I wonder if that was to do with the censor. And it'll be grand, lads, he says. Or maybe it's about the fact that we have to put the closed company details in there. Whichever way, I think you go for it. I was wondering if it was a nice message or not. This is so freaking interesting. I'm an accountant in the USA. Hello, Vanessa Middleton. I've heard the UK accent, assumed I wouldn't get much out of this, but so relieved to know accounting is a universal language. Oh, I worked in Dubai for 10 years. Oh, lovely. Well, thank you for joining us. I mean, it must be a crazy time as a librarian. Go figure. Yeah, thank you for that, Vanessa. Thank you for your comment. Really quickly to end the show on DJI Pocket 4 lands this week. Bit of new tech coming our way. I'm, for one, very, very excited. I think it's something that's going to really help our workflow. Johann, you're not that interested in it. Do you want to discuss why?
Yeah, look, I mean, the reason we wanted to bring this up was really, regardless of mine and Aaron's interest, the DJI Pocket 3, which has been around a couple of years now, has just been incredible. It's handheld. It's so good. It means filming content has been so accessible for so many people, and it's our go-to number one recommendation to anyone that wants to start doing vlogs, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram videos. Get a DJI Pocket 3. Now, and we see them all over the place now, Accountex and stuff like that. And so the new one's coming out this week on the 16th of April. I would say it's for me, because I'm not doing as many videos anymore, it's not a good enough upgrade to justify replacing the Pocket 3 for me. But if you haven't got a camera and you want to get into vlogging and stuff like that, get the Pocket 4. It will sort you out for years. It'll be fantastic. For me, it's a literative upgrade. Like the main bit is an improved 1-inch sensor, which will make capturing video a lot easier and a lot better quality. If you're using your Pocket 3 all the time, you may, like Aaron, find a benefit in having this new camera replace the Pocket 3. But the other option here is potentially, does this mean the Pocket 3 is still going to be in production and still going to be available, but at a lower price, making vlogging and stuff even more accessible to everybody? I mean, either way, fantastic, absolutely fantastic device. Absolutely loved using mine. But yeah, for anyone that and we know for a fact, lots of people we've spoken to and we've encouraged them to get the Pocket 3 are now out there creating content.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
We've actually made a cross for our own back here because we've now got lots of competition because we've promoted the Pocket 3 so heavily. But it's all good because it's getting the word of the industry out there. It's changing the perception of the industry. So I think it's fantastic. I mean, I know you're going to go for and spend some money on the 16th of April, aren't you?
Yeah, but in fairness, I had the Pocket One. So anyone who doesn't know, the Pocket, the whole, I quickly showed it on camera, but the whole premise of this is it's a camera on a little gimbal, so you can walk around with it and it keeps it nice and flowy and all this. So comes with it, if you get the right kit, comes with a microphone, so you crispy audio, blah 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 blah, like all really good stuff. We love it, we love it, love it, love it. But I was on the Pocket One back in the day. I skipped Pocket Two and went to Pocket Three. So I think you're completely right. I think there's no, this isn't the sort of software, hardware you go out and you buy each and every time. For me, it's because it's that usable that we were talking about before about getting back into doing the Cool Friends episodes. This will be a vital part of that Cool Friends episode workflow where we can throw it into a bag. It don't have to bring the whole kit with me, and we can have some nice, nice video, and it goes into a new production that we've got, and it means that we can start churning those out so much quicker. So for us, ticks all those boxes. I would also say, I know we're running out of time, but just quickly keep an eye on Insta360 as well. They are apparently about to release their own version of the Pocket 4, Pocket 3, whichever version they want to go compete against. So that's going to be an Insta360 action cam on a gimbal as well, going through there. So in my head, I'm like, actually, do I wait for that? Is that, do I have one DJI and one thing? Even I'm kind of confused, but definitely keep an eye on it. It goes, all the details come out on the 16th, which is in a couple of days' time. And it's one of those that I will, definitely be interested in, definitely going to have a look at, and then we'll see how it goes from there. It was interesting, actually. I was speaking to someone last week who just bought the DJI 3, and I did say, oh, just so you know, DJI 4.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. What's your return policy? Because you might want to make use of that. But as you've also said as well, probably, if you're on a free already, you probably don't need to make the jump.
And I'm more likely to take the money I would spend on the Pocket 4 and buy a DJI drone instead.
Oh, especially that new 360 one. Oh, yeah. Although my drone license, Anyway, that's one for a different podcast. There we have it. That is our day done. There was something I wanted to try on. We're gonna let us know how you feel about this, but we're gonna steal this from a different episode. And when we come to close up, we're gonna have some background music to say that we're closing up and it's coming to an end, and we're going through there. So if this is annoying, let us know. But if not, Johann, tell us, what's your weekend gonna look like?
So this week I am down in Birmingham. It's very loud. So this week I'm down in Birmingham for the Fusion Taxcalc Engager Fusion Birmingham Roadshow on Wednesday, and then Friday through to Tuesday next week I am in Hastings, joining you there for the weekend for a friend's wedding.
Thanks for the reminder.
Aaron, don't forget there's that wedding at the weekend.
I genuinely forgot. Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
I'll be coming live from location.
Oh, you'll still be there. Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're doing a couple of days there to go and explore the local area. I mean, that's proper history. None of this 1992 Olympics malarkey. This is proper history, like 1066 battlefields and abbeys. That's proper history. I can't wait. So yeah, looking forward to that.
I'm jealous.
What are you up to this weekend? Well, I know what you're up to over the weekend, whether you know it or not. But
this weekend, I've got a wedding to go to. This week we are over. We're doing quite a few days in Leeds. I'm back to old school networking as well. I've got a networking event because they were already, as we'd acquired it, they'd already in the diary and everything else. So it'd be a waste if I didn't go and at least attend them and everything else. But the last one I went to was really, really good. Really enjoyed it, to be fair. So it'd be good to kind of see how that is and going from there. Right, hopefully that whole
music stop and start. It's all just
good idea. Find the right song.
Great idea, poorly executed.
Yeah, maybe we just steal the song from the podcast we're all thinking about. Maybe that's what we're going to do and push it through from there. There's potential in there. There's potential to make this work. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Vanessa says, nice song. Was it a nice song though, Vanessa? Was it? Did we get that right? I don't know. I used to date Steel Pulse. I used to date Steel Pulse, and he lives in Birmingham. There we are. So at least you've still got your connection to UK. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you very much, both, says Mahul. And with that, that is it. We're out of here. We will see you all this time next week. One from location, one hopefully to remember to get the book a train to get home. Otherwise, I'll be in location in the same room with him. That'll go down well. Because I definitely don't have a hotel room for that night. Coming from the sleeping in the corridor next door. My name's been Aaron Patrick. Thank you very much. See you all soon, and we are out. Bye for now. Bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.